This is Chie Satonaka, and you're listening to the Giant Sword Podcast. You better eat more meat.
Hello, and welcome to this week's Giant Sword Podcast. I'm your party leader, Nick. Joining me, as always, is Taylor.
What up?
And Brandon.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
And if this is your first time listening to us, we are a JRPG-centric podcast. Talk about everything JRPGs. Sometimes we go dabble in a little anime, a little horror games, maybe fighters, whatever. But we are JRPG-focused. And if you want more of that, be sure to subscribe and follow. Let's go into what we're going to be talking about, which is not much. There hasn't been really that much news. Next Gen is tomorrow, or tonight, depending, or it's already happened, depending on when you're listening to it. Are you guys on the train for Next Gen?
I mean, right now it's a money thing. Like, if I had the money, I probably would have pre-ordered one, just because you can play everything backwards compatible and games probably run better for the most part. But that's really my main reason, is just cash. But we were talking a little before the podcast about, some trade-in stuff. So if I can scrounge up enough games to trade in that I know I'm not going to play anymore, maybe I might do that. But I think finding a PS5 in the wild this year might be tricky.
You'll probably be able to get one in December.
You think so?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Because that's when I got my PS3, is when it first came out, because the PS3 came out also in November. I waited until December, and I found a shop that was going to get some in stock, and I got one. So
nice.
Just got to keep bugging GameStop or wherever you're shopping to, find out when they're getting some in stock.
Yeah, the only one in my town is really small, so I'll have to keep checking in, but I'm not holding out hope.
Shadow, or Brandon, when are you going to get it? Before we started the podcast, you were talking about trading in.
Yeah. So, like, I would have pre-ordered it as well, but it's just something about me and just spending money I don't want to do. when I really don't have to. So it's like $500 coming out of my account at once. Just like I don't care for that. But I was thinking about trading in my PS4 to get it, because you can get the PS4 trade-in value. GameStop is $140. Then I got 3 Switch games I can trade in for about $80. Get the PS5 for about $180. About that seems better to me. But yeah, I'm definitely on board for leaving this generation behind and going next gen. Honestly, with this backward compatibility stuff, there's really no point in keeping your old consoles. You're keeping your old consoles for what? Sentimental value? For what? So you can't play a game that you can only play on that console? Well, no, we got backwards compatibility. I remember, like, when this generation started, PS4 launched, people were telling me, no, hold on to your PS3. You'll need a PS3 to play some JRPGs. I have not gone once back to completely play a JRPG on my PS3. Our PS3 is sitting in my closet collecting dust. I don't need it.
Oh yeah,
same case.
Yeah, I was saying that's your thing. You said that you don't want to go back to your JRPGs. Your time is precious. You can't go back to replay games anymore.
Yeah, exactly. And like, more than likely, those JRPGs are going to get released sometime down the line. Like we all know, Tales of Xillia 1 and 2 are going to be re-released again at some point. So there's no point in holding on to it. Like, I'm going to actually play it. But yeah, my PS4, there's no use for it anymore. The longer I keep it, the less in value it goes down. So I can't get much for it. So I'm going to trade it in as soon as I can.
And that makes sense, because you're talking about the PS3 going from PS3 to PS4. The PS4 was not backwards compatible with PS3 games, and like I said, not only is PS5 backwards compatible with PS4 games, but a lot of the times it'll run those games better. So even if maybe you don't even want to spend $70 on a new game or whatever, like, just play by the old version and it'll probably run a little bit better.
See, I don't know if the games are going to be running like they might run a little bit better, but not like ideally. Like I would like every game I pop into the PS5 to be running at 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but I think, don't quote me on it, I think on Xbox that actually happens. You pop in like an old game or Xbox One game to the Series X, it'll be running at 60 FPS, which is how. Yeah.
I think it varies game to game because I was watching a video on Digital Foundry and they were just testing game after game after game, and almost every game they tried was like at a rock solid 60. The only game that I know of that doesn't hit 60, which breaks my heart, is Bloodborne, and I think that's a code thing that they need to fix. But like everything else they tried got a bump to 60, but like of course nobody's testing JRPGs, so they're testing like shooters and the big exclusives and stuff. So I'm like, tell me how Persona 5 runs, tell me how Final Fantasy 7 remake runs, like I want to see what those look like, but I haven't been able to track down any videos, so I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about too. But even if it doesn't happen, even if my games, the JRPGs don't, there's just no point keeping the PS4 anymore.
This
can't go out the pasture.
This talk is making me want to go check out my GameStop tonight.
I would have did it. I think I would have did it before I even got on this call, but I kind of forgot that I probably need to transfer some stuff to the cloud, at least some of my save data at the very least, so I can make sure I have it. That's why I want to go to GameStop first.
I think you're able to connect your PS4 to your PS5 and then transfer everything from that PS4 to the PS5.
Well, I got to trade it in first.
I know.
Yeah.
So I was like, that's cool that you could do that. Don't have to re-download everything.
Do you have to have PS Plus to do that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think you have to have a PS Plus to do that, but if you want the cloud so you can take your save data easily, yeah, I think you need PS Plus.
Okay.
You don't have it right now?
The cool thing...
No, I don't have PlayStation Plus.
I just haven't played anything online in a long time. What's cool about PlayStation Plus though is if you're subscribed to that, you basically get every big PS4 exclusive day one on PS5.
Okay,
so
I
like
gotta go
all the Naughty
right
Dog games, like not all of them, but like a lion's share of
That's
the good exclusives.
That's the PlayStation collection, the PS4 collection thing.
Yeah.
Is that okay? So that's not an additional cost. You just get it if you got PlayStation Plus.
Correct.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
You can download all the like classic PS4 games from Sony, I think, and then some third parties, but I think it's mostly from Sony.
I know Persona 5 was part of that.
Yeah, but Persona it was the original Persona 5 and not Royal.
Oh yeah, right. Yeah. Guys, don't do that. Don't play the vanilla Persona 5.
Get the
Royal. So just get Royal.
But speaking of Royal, they did bump the Final Fantasy 15's on there, and they bumped it from the base version to the Royal edition. So if you still haven't played Final Fantasy 15, there you go. You can get the good version with all the DLC and stuff.
Okay.
I think I should replay that. I think I should try to replay 15.
I have not played it since they added all the stuff and they fixed Chapter 13 and all that. I'd be curious to see what it's like, because now you can switch to the other 3 party members, which wasn't there at launch. So I got to imagine it's a little bit of a different game.
I imagine it's probably a better game than what I remember from the 2016 launch. It left a really sour taste in my mouth. I've played a whole bunch of games since then. I even played some online games. Nothing this gen, or last gen, if you want to call it, has made me mad than Final Fantasy 15. Like seething with anger. I waited
not even
that
Kingdom
long
Hearts?
No, not even Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts was just like most of the game was crap except for the last few chapters. But yeah, Final Fantasy 15 was on a different level. I don't know how anybody likes that game.
I remember we got it, and then we went to PlayStation Experience, and we brought our TVs, and we played it in the hotel.
Wait, you did?
Yeah, or you did. I don't think I did, but it was because it came out. It was a 2016 one, so it wasn't the bad one. It was the one when we went with Connor.
Yeah, well, that was in San Francisco, so I don't.
Connor was in San Francisco. Jake,
this was LA.
This was LA, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, huh? I don't remember bringing my TV, but I mean, you probably remember that better than I do. But yeah.
That was good. That was good times. I mean, we all got like I think Connor got car sick, right? And when we were driving home,
Oh yeah, I think so.
good times. Did you ever go to any of the PlayStation experiences, Shadow?
Nah, I never got to any.
Well, they're gone now. They were good. they were really cool until Sony just became like really weird and it's like went down the tubes. It was like
The last one we went to was a disaster. Like they didn't have a press conference. They had some like round table thing with a bunch of developers and they just showed a bunch of old trailers and I'm like, what are we doing here? This is so dumb. And then like so many of the games weren't playable and you had to use the app to schedule demo times and they filled up in like a second. So I'm like, there's like no point in being here almost. It was really frustrating.
what was the best time? What was the best part of that experience?
Playing Donkey Kong in the hotel room.
Taylor
The ultimate irony. The best part of a PlayStation conference was playing a Nintendo game.
Taylor was so distraught. Everything just did not go with him. He couldn't get that soda. The person playing Shadow of the Colossus was not good. He was yelling at her. And when we got lunch, you went to the Food Network recommended food truck, and it wasn't good. And you're just like, "Ugh, I'm done. I'm out of here."
I'm done. This sucks. Yep. Frustrating indeed.
And we had a lot of stories from PlayStation Experience. Like when we were with Connor, people like there's this group that kept making their friends join, right?
Oh my god.
And they kept there's lots of groups, and we get to the front of the line to enter for the press conference, and they cut us off. Like we were right in the front. Like,
we were the first ones to not get in.
Yeah.
Yikes.
That was so frustrating. If that ever happens again, I'll be like, hey, you can cut, but you're behind. You get behind us because that's some bullshit. I was so mad about that.
At least we were right next to a big TV screen.
Yeah.
It's funny how we keep talking about next gen, and the only console we're talking about is PlayStation. Are you guys interested of the Xbox at all?
Personally, not really. I'm actually surprised Xbox is actually still in the console race. But yeah, there's really just no games out for Xbox that I really care for. I hope they have a successful launch, and I hope nothing goes wrong with the console, which is crazy because I saw some things on Twitter, somebody trying to act like their Xbox is overheating, but it was fake.
Vaping or something like that, right?
Yeah, it was completely fake. Just trying to stir some shit. It sucks that Halo got delayed because it was the only game they had going for them. But let's just be real, like both consoles don't really have a real strong launch lineup. They're relying on their backwards compatible games to really save them for this holiday season.
And it's funny because that's the only thing we really want to play on the PlayStation 5 are PS4 games.
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah.
Like the only game I'm like quote unquote next gen game, because I think it's also available on PS4 and Xbox One, is Godfall, which I am hearing some bad things about, but it still looks like gameplay standpoint. It looks pretty. It looks like fun. I wish there was a demo I could play. It looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think that's a timed PS5 exclusive, and I don't think it's current last gen, whatever. I don't think it's on PS4. Yeah. Okay. So truly, one of the very only next gen games next to Demon Souls, I think, is only on PS5. But other than that, everything's cross gen.
Okay, yeah, that's another one. Demon Souls. I'm not a big fan of the Souls, but I'm willing to play that game. Like, if I get the PS5, I'll buy that game.
Yeah, wait. When does Guilty Gear come out? January, right?
No, I think March.
I don't remember.
Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah.
Recodes Zillified.
Let me check that.
Zerd 10th Dimension.
No, this is not a Square Enix game.
No, it's coming out in April.
Is it?
Yeah.
No, Guilty Gear has a bunch of weird names. I'm gonna look one up just to prove a point.
They always had X
Yeah.
in them.
Yeah, Double X, Double Core, or whatever. That's a game that should. I don't know why it's taking forever to come out.
Oh yeah, April 9th. Okay.
Ridiculous. That's like what is that? Q2, 2021, or
I think
that's
I
still.
think that's the end of Q1.
Yeah. Okay. That's ridiculous. Jesus, this game better be good. It better be sound. Netcode better be good, and it better be running at a rock solid 60 FPS.
I think
No,
that's why it's taking so long because they want to perfect it. Because
it better.
they're not having that many initial characters.
Yeah, that's true. Well, they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
I think it's like 12, maybe
Yeah, 12,
16.
13.
Yeah, it's that
And there's
much.
5 planned for DLC. That's not too bad for a fighting game. I think a fighting game should have around like 16 characters, 18 characters at launch.
It is very balanced.
Yeah.
So the one I was thinking of, Nick, it's called Guilty Gear Double X Accent Core Plus R.
Isn't that's the PSP one, isn't it?
Is it? I don't know. I don't know anything about it.
Because it sounds like a remake of a remake of a remake of a remake, portable style.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm like, I know there's a really like crazy one, but yeah, that's the only one I could find. That's on Steam, it says.
Yeah. So yeah, there's no real like what is the real next gen game? Like does Demon Souls really count?
Yeah.
I think
it's a remake, but it's only on PS5.
I think
for
Demon
whatever
Souls
that's
kind of counts in the looks department. Gameplay department, no. Looks, yes. It looks super next gen.
Okay.
Yep.
I'll agree with that. It does look like a PC game on high settings. Ultra settings.
Exactly.
I think the only game can really say plays like a next gen game is that Ratchet and Clank game. Have you guys seen gameplay of that?
Yeah, I've definitely seen that one. Yeah,
Dude, that game's wild. So it like you're like jumping between dimensions, but it loads like that. Like only an SSD could do it, you know? And then there's like segments where there's like these rifts in the level, and then you like pull yourself through, and then you like pop out. It's like you're hopping dimensions like instantly. It's crazy.
Is that one of the games that you would get?
Probably the only. I'm waiting to see what it costs because the remake was $40 and that was like the perfect price. But at $70, I'm like, I don't know if I want to jump in day one for $70 for like a 12-hour platformer game, you know. But if it's like 50, I'll think about it.
It's not a launch title.
No, it's like launch window. It'll probably be out, spring, something like that.
Yeah. The interesting that you said about the load times, but the load times are it's a good thing that they're shortening these load times. I was watching a review of Spider-Man, and the dude was in the game from the main menu in like literally 5 seconds. Like he hit load game and it loaded up instantly. I'm like, God damn, this is what we need. And another thing we need this gen is that I was afraid that maybe 60 FPS wouldn't be standard. But it's really starting to look like 60 FPS is going to be standard. I thought they were going to promote, like these companies, Microsoft and Sony, was really going to promote resolution, like 4K and whatnot, maybe even 8K if you go that far, that's ridiculous. But It looks like 60 FPS is the standard, which is what I'm hoping. I'm hoping everybody who sees 60 FPS and they go back to playing their bum PS4 games at 30 FPS will notice the difference finally. And would say, how did I play this game at this slow, this choppy? Like they have to know that they should know that the frame rate matters.
Totally. Well, the other thing that I like that a lot of developers seem to be doing is they're doing like cinematic mode and performance mode. Like a lot of the games that are next gen versions seem to have that, which I appreciate because I hear you. Most games, like especially if they're gameplay focused, like it's got to run at 60. But for like super real, like a Naughty Dog game, for example, super realistic, super cinematic, I want that at 30 because to me it seems more cinematic that way, and it looks too gamey at 60 when games look that photorealistic, if that makes sense. So I'm glad that they're at least giving players the option.
Yeah, I think that needs to become standard. All developers need to do that. They need to have that option in there. Absolutely. I know it's probably going to be a case for like first-party games, or maybe some third-party games, maybe like Assassin's Creed or something like that. But yeah, most developers need that option in there.
Do you remember first turning on your PS4 and comparing it to your PS3, and you're like, the menus load so quick. Oh, it's so quick. Everything's so smooth.
Yo, but
Uh,
seriously, the PS3 was dog shit slow.
They
Oh
was.
my
Thing
God.
that thing was terrible. I don't know how we got through that PS3 generation, but that
It
thing
was-
was slow. That XMD was just terrible. It was a nightmare. I don't know how we even liked it. Oh my god.
Well, I mean, compared to PS2, it's like godsend. But
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I never had an Xbox 360, so I didn't know how it was compared to that. But I heard the 360's menu was no comparison.
Yeah,
And
360. They had a lot of updates throughout the years, and each one did get better and made it more new, more fresh, more snappy, if you will. But from what I'm seeing for the Xbox, like it's not much of a change in the main menu for the most part. It looks like an Xbox One, which is one of my turnoffs because when I buy a new console, I want to see that it's a new console with that main menu. I don't know. That's just a pet peeve of mine. PS5 looks yeah, it looks a little bit different.
Yeah, it's got a premium feel to it with like the little particle effects and the the cinematic lighting thing when it boots up. It looks cool.
oh man,
Yeah.
I miss the classic PS1 startup sound.
Yeah.
I remember I had a theme on the PS4 that had that sound when you turned it on. It did it,
Oh, that's cool.
and but it was a really boring theme, so I took it off. But it was cool that it did that, and only when you turned it on. So you never turn off your PS4 really. It's always in standby mode, so you never really heard it.
Mm.
It's interesting about themes because I don't think there's going to be there might not be themes on PS5.
Yeah, because the way the menu works is like whenever you're highlighted over a game, there's like a picture that just takes up the entire background, right?
Yeah, exactly. So sucks to be people who like themes. I like themes, but I guess I can live without it.
Yeah, they're cool.
Okay, I'm gonna go on a really weird tangent. Apparently there was an update on trophies way back, and some people didn't like it. What exactly did they do? If you guys
I
know.
think they changed the sound of the trophy.
So they changed the point values. So like your level went up or something. Like if you're like level 12, now you're like level 35 or something. So they gave different point values to different trophies. And they may have also changed the sound, but I know that was a big thing. They changed the levels.
I also heard that I think you could, you know, the thing you do on your Vita to connect to the Vita, your PS4 to your Vita. Do you remember what that's called?
Oh, it was a remote play?
Remote play. You could do that you could do your PS5, you could remote play your PS5 from your PS4.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would you want to do that?
So if you have like a PS4 in another room and you don't want to move your PS5, you just play your PS5 from a different room.
That's a very excuse me. That's a very specific situation.
Yeah.
But it must not have been that hard to do if if they did it.
Man. All right. So Taylor, you really like ran through the Yakuza 7 like a madman. You're like, "Oh, I'm going to start playing this," and then like 2 days later, "Oh, this is the best game I've ever played." So, can you give me your story on that game?
Yeah, I wish I got it earlier, but basically not last Friday, but the Friday before, I got an email from Sega. They're like, "Oh, here's your code. Please confirm that you will abide by the embargo," which I've never had an email like that. But then again, I only work with small developers usually, so they don't care, I guess. But I didn't see that email until way late. I'm like, crap, I could have been playing it all weekend. So I got it the following Monday. Was only playing it here and there. Totally missed the embargo. I only had at that point had played a few hours. And so then I'm like, I got to get a video out before this game comes out because as Shadow knows, views vary wildly depending on if you do a review before or after a game comes out. So basically, I just no lifed it all weekend and try to get a review out. But yeah, it's really great. This is my first Yakuza game, which I think is pretty perfect because this is, I think, meant to be a new entry point to the series for a lot of people because it's got a new protagonist. Most of the game takes place in a new city, and the combat has changed from being an action brawler to like a turn-based JRPG now. And I don't know. I just had a lot of fun. Like I was really surprised with how much I liked the main cast of characters and how much the game endears them to you. Because at first, I knew the game had like wild and wacky side quests. I'm like, oh, I know that's going to be there, and there's plenty of that. But I did not expect to get invested in these characters and care about them and hear their backstory and really get sucked into the story. And then there are, pretty persistent side activities that you come back to over and over. One that I probably spent the most time in was this business management mini game where somebody comes to you and they're like, yeah, I have this business that's failing. Help me get it back up to where, its former glory type of thing. And it's really complicated at first, but then once you like spend a little time with it, it makes sense. And I just went on like this 4-hour binge just trying to look, because the whole point is to like get your business to be like the top ranked business in town. So I was just like, oh, one more business cycle. I want to get it one more, it's like Civ, one more round, So yeah, and that was fun. But I think what I really like is the main character is a big fan of Dragon Quest, and he literally says he talks about Dragon Quest in the game. And so they theme everything combat wise around Dragon Quest. So like when you get into battle, your enemies transform from like normal people to like fantasy versions of themselves. So like a regular businessman will like tie his tie around his head, and then he'll have a trash can lid and an umbrella instead of a sword and shield. And you have classes that are kind of silly that that you'll transform into once you initiate a battle. But yeah, it's fun. And then there are extra recruitable characters that I didn't know about, because on the cover it looks like there's only 3, but as I invested more time into the business mini game, the girl that you talk to, you can recruit her. I'm like, oh, that's cool. So yeah, I now I know what Yakuza is all about. I get the hype, and yeah, good game.
So,
and it's on Xbox Series X. So if you're looking to pick up something for next gen, there you go.
So if it did not have the turn-based battle system and the action-based battle system, do you think nothing would be in Lost?
So say that again.
If you had they got rid of the turn-based battle system, and then they put back, the normal action-based battle system, do you think nothing would be lost, or do you think that whole system is integral to that game?
No, I mean, I think it would be fine either way. I think longtime fans are probably going to be bummed because they've played like 7 games now with the brawler combat. And I'm sure it's fun. I've never played a regular Yakuza game, but I'm a JRPG guy, so I like turn-based combat, especially if it's done well, which this one is done pretty well. It's very quick and snappy and fun. But I like action games too, so I'm fine either way. But I'm sure there's people out there that they hate turn-based, or they're the other way. They only like turn-based. So I think it depends on your preference.
So is this a JRPG, or is this just like an open world game, but the battle system is turn-based?
I mean, here's the never-ending debate: what is a JRPG? Because
exactly.
like it's turn-based combat. You level up, you get gear, you can change your job class. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it's perfect.
How it could be a JRPG more than that, and it's literally you're in Japan, so yeah, I don't know how it could be any more of a JRPG outside of.
I think it's definitely a JRPG.
So you would
it's got Shadow's stamp of approval.
JRPG, bam. Would you recommend new JRPG players play it?
Yeah. I think so. Just because the combat system it builds slowly, so like it'll teach you its various systems slowly because you only fight with one character for quite a while actually. But you're getting used to like using the menus. There's like button prompts, like if you hit buttons at the right time, you'll do extra damage and then block incoming damage. So there's stuff like that. Um, and then you'll add a new character, and then they have a specific role, and then you'll play with them for a while, then you get another new character. So I think it builds its layers at a good pace. And then other aspects of the game like crafting and unlocking new classes. I just think it all comes at a really nice pace. So even if you're new to JRPGs, like I'm trying to think of what you would have jumped in with, like maybe Persona 5 or Dragon Quest 11 or something like that. Um, I think that you'd find this interesting and fun to play, and it has some aspects to Persona 5. They have this bonding system where anything you do with your party members, you get bond points, and then once your bond meter fills up, you go to this bar, and then you have like a little bonding event where you guys drink, and then you kind of share some personal stories. And only certain job classes are only attainable once you have certain bond ranks, so it's good to get that up. And I think there's other side benefits, like you get extra XP, and they could do follow-up attacks and stuff like that. So
Cool. Shadow, what do you think? I know you've played a little bit of this game. What's your opinion on it right now?
As of right now, it's a pretty damn fun and entertaining game. Definitely liking the story. The story might be getting a tad on predictability, but we'll see how that goes. And even if it does, it seems to be executing the story, the setting, the events, how fun the characters are in a really good way. So even if the story is predictable, it looks like it will be fun. This will be about the journey more than about the end game. As far as the combat goes, so far it's pretty simple. Like Taylor said, I think in the early going it's going to be really simple. There's a lot of cutscenes going on in the beginning, which thank God the game it has an English dub because I'm not even sure if this was like any other Yakuza game. It was in Japanese. I had to read all that subtitles. I probably would have clocked out. I ain't gonna lie. And bonus, the dub is quality. The dub is really good. Everybody fits their role. The characters sound great. The main I forgot his name. The name Yakuza leader. What's his leader's name again? Taylor.
Arakawa.
Yeah, Arakawa. Yeah. He sounds great. Like the guy is just doing his role correctly. Love it. As far as everybody else is concerned, everything else is really good. I'm playing on PC, so the game is running pretty well. But yeah, I can't wait to actually play more of the game, to be honest.
Hey Taylor, how long was it?
Somewhere between like 40-50 hours, probably because I spent more time on a lot of the side activities, just because they were really addicting and they help you get better gear and stuff like that.
Okay, so about these side activities,
Yeah.
give me some examples.
So I told you about the business one. That's one. So early in the game, you're like kind of homeless, and so you play this mini game where you're riding around on this like bicycle collecting cans, and then you could turn those cans in for items. And at first, the items seemed terrible. I'm like, I didn't understand it at first, but then once you unlock the ability to craft gear, those items becomes the easiest way to get those items. So, for example, I have a sword that I have that like deals electric damage, and to craft it, you need 10 scorpions. Now, I couldn't find a scorpion anywhere in the game. I don't know where they hide. I don't know where they are. But you can trade in points in that can collecting game to get scorpions, and that to me that was just easy. I'm like, oh, I'll just do this, and it's pretty fun because it's like you have like a 3-minute time limit. There's cans all over town, and there's other like bums trying to get the same cans, so you like run into them. And then there's like a garbage truck that you have to avoid. So it's pretty fun actually. I got pretty addicted to that also. There's a lot of very Japanese centric mini games that I tried once. I'm like, I don't get this. Like shogi, I don't know how shogi works. There's like pachinko machines. It's all in Japanese, and I'm like, I don't get this. I don't know how to play. But then there's some other fun stuff. Like there's much like Persona. Also, you have like personality points, like charisma and confidence and whatever. And so there's a school that you can go to take tests, like very simple tests, and you answer questions, and then you can level up your stats. And some of them are like Sega trivia, some of them are like sports trivia. So that's fun to do. There's this really weird mini game where I think you do this for fun. I don't know what reward you get from doing this. Maybe some bonding points if you bring a other character in. But basically, you're going to a movie theater where they play really old movies, and like the theme of the mini game is you're trying not to fall asleep. So you're sitting in the theater, and then there's like sheep trying to like cast sleep spells on you or something. So it's sort of like a rhythm game. That's pretty fun. I'm trying to think of what else. Here's the bummer part. That I want to go back and keep playing. So because I got an early code, the Sega arcade games didn't come until a day one patch. So I didn't get to play those pre-release. So like stuff like Virtua Fighter and I'm trying to think of like a Act Racer. Not, I don't know.
Afterburner.
So there's like, there's like arcade games, Sega arcade games that you can go and play, but unfortunately, they were not available pre-release.
Looks like you got a lot to do, Brandon.
Hey man, you can call me Shadow. This is cool. I think Taylor, you said that those mini games aren't mandatory, right?
No, I don't. None of them are mandatory, but they just help. Like the business mini game. Like I played for a while, and then I ended up having like 1,000,000 yen. Like money is pretty scarce early on, and so I just kept doing that business mini game. I'm like, oh my god, I'm loaded now. So it really helps, but no, you don't have to do any of them if you don't want to.
All right, cool. Because I'm guessing maybe the first time around I'll have to do one or two, just because probably the story demands it.
Yeah.
Other than that, I probably won't do it too much. If I could probably just fight some battles and get some money. Seems like a pretty easy game so far.
Yeah, it definitely it gets tricky as you add new party members and you need to like gear everybody out and stuff. But I mean, you can avoid that if you want to. I mean, you might get addicted like I did. You might be surprised. But there is like a traditional like request board, I guess, that unlocks. It's like the hero app. Like people request you to help them if people are like beating them up or whatever. So you can just do normal like side quests and they get you like good chunks of change. So you can do that if you want.
Did you enjoy those, Taylor?
I mean, they're really straightforward. It's just like go here, fight 3 guys, get money. It's really straightforward. The side quests though are really fun. Like not those, but there's like world side quests where you just bump into somebody and they're like, "Hey, can you help me with this?" Like there's one where there's a lady complaining that somebody's peeing in the river. And so you have to find the guy that's peeing in the river. And so eventually you find 4 guys with their back to you. Like it looks like they're peeing into the river and you have to pick which one you think is the guy peeing in front of you. And it's pretty funny. There's another one where it's like Pokemon sort of, but instead of, and this guy gives you like a Pokédex app on your phone, but instead of Pokemon, it's like weirdos and perverts. So anytime you find an enemy, it registers it in your little Pokédex. So yeah, it gets weird for sure, but
it is weird. That sounds
it's really weird.
What the hell?
It's so weird.
I'm gonna have to experience myself and see what's up.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin any more because there's some really good stuff in there.
All right, so Taylor, your final thoughts? 2 thumbs up, 1 thumb up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm already trying to plot out like my top 5 JRPGs of the year video, and I think this is definitely going to be in there. And I think a lot of people will probably be disappointed that Cold Steel 4 is not there, but hey, whatever.
You're terrible. You're a terrible person.
Speaking of Cold Steel 4, all right, Shadow. Give me a rundown of your feelings.
I'm just gonna look at my phone for however long this lasts for.
Hey, you could ask questions too, Taylor.
Okay, I will.
I think the game is good. Game did everything I wanted to do. There are some aspects to the story that I'm a little bit iffy about. This is why I gotta discuss it with some other people, see what they think. And I'm not the one that's crazy, but I can't even say anything because I don't want to spoil it for you, Nick.
Yeah.
But they're not crazy things. They're not like stuff. They're not like deal breakers for me. They're not like, oh my god, I can't believe they did this, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The game is largely like Cold Steel 3. Like the combat's the same. They may have nerfed some of the orders to make them less overpowered, but they're still overpowered. I don't know what anybody's talking about.
I got a feeling that was it, because I was like, why am I not as strong as before? Oh wait, these orders don't seem as strong as they usually are.
I don't know. I don't get why that's the case, because like I kind of steamrolled through the whole entire game. Emma and Muse for the win. Like Jesus Christ, I just nuked everything.
Yeah, with Muse, I just keep using. I make her spam Aqua Bullet or whatever it's called, and it's like the beginning water spell, and she can just use it, and then when she summons or casts it, it's her turn again, and and then I cast it again, and it's her turn again right after she casts it, and I can do like 3 spells, and like I built her so she could do that, so it's like, okay.
I think they may have fixed that obviously from Cold Steel 3, because I remember I could spam like the high tier Diamond Nova like crazy in Cold Steel 3, and I couldn't do it here.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that, the low tier spell, Aqua Bleed or whatever it's called.
Aqua
you
Blade
could
or
definitely
something.
do that. Yeah. I was definitely taking advantage of elemental weaknesses. It was just Emma and Muse for me. Like everybody was in the back. No, everybody was in the front, while Emma and Muse was just in the back. And using Art Celebration just reduced the cost of magic moves. So I never ran out of EP for the most part, except when it came to Emma's really high tier spells. The game has a problem when it comes to voice acting. I think this is a deal with Falcom not being able to afford more lines for voices, because when a new character comes to introduce, they're talking in the cutscene, and then everybody else is not voice acted.
Oh, that's weird.
Oh,
I believe this was the same case in Cold Steel 3.
I think
But
this is the same case in just Cold Steel in general. I remember like the whole intro. I remember playing in Cold Steel 1. It was like the whole intro was like totally voice acted, like every single line was voice acted, and then right when that intro ends, only certain lines are voice acted, and it was like, whoa, what the? There's no voice acting anymore, except for certain lines. But then like the remakes came out, the Cold Steel 1 and 2 remakes came out, or the remasters for like the PS4 and PC, and they added dubbed lines, which weren't there before.
That reminds me of Ni no Kuni 2. Ni no Kuni 2 had problems with that too, where like one person's talking and then out of nowhere they just stop having voice acting. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's annoying. I forgot they actually did that, Nick. That they actually updated Cold Steel.
Yeah, I think that's
because that's probably what I played.
I think that's just like Falcom thing, because they don't have the biggest budget.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I get that, and I get like voices are like kind of big in Japan. So, but it's still so annoying whenever it does happen. Like, oh man, I cannot get used to it.
It throws you for a loop. Wait, whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. So, man, I can't really think of much stuff to say about the game without going into the story, because this is the end of Saga. This is the last game, and you really, for the most part, me personally, I do play my JRPGs for gameplay, but for this one, I definitely played it more for the story. And there's a lot of hype moments in the story. Like, you'll be like, "Oh, this is awesome! This is great!" Seeing characters interact with each other from the previous Cold Steel games are just awesome. Seeing everybody from the Crossbell games, seeing everybody from the Sky games, it's great. You gotta go around and talk to people, because that's like really what a charm is, and see how people interact with each other.
Did this game's ending satisfy you? Was it like, okay, good? This this is a good closure for this Cold Steel series.
I mean, like, I don't know if you know, but there's two endings.
There's two endings.
Yeah, it's two endings. There's a normal ending and a true ending.
Is it like Cold Steel 2's endings?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. It's a oh man, it's a weird thing that they're doing. It's probably going to be answered in Hachimari, but it's a weird thing to do. But I'll say this: the true ending was very wholesome, very wholesome. I liked it a lot. I almost shedded a tear, almost. But yeah,
It was coming out, right, and then you just sucked it back in.
yeah.
Like, you're not
exactly.
You're not coming out.
Yeah, it was nice. But definitely, Nick, when you get to Act 4, do all the side quests, all of them, every last one. It's gonna save you a lot of time.
Okay, are there any secret ones?
No, there's no secret ones. No, I don't believe so.
Because I usually do all the side quests. I always miss the secret ones.
Yeah, you should be good to go. Like when the next time you go back on the ship, somebody's gonna call you, and then you'll know you did them all. But yeah, like I said earlier, like there are so many things about the plot, about the fate of certain characters, some motivations that I want to talk about badly, but you haven't beaten the game. That also reminds me, Nick, will you be free next Saturday to do a spoiler cast? You think you'll be done with the game by then?
Next Saturday?
Next Saturday.
If I know Life It, maybe.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, just take your time. I'm trying to set a date for that.
I'll try to.
Yeah, yeah. Just try. Don't like rush through the game. Take your time. This is the end of the saga. You gotta take your time with it. You know.
Mm-hmm.
I have an important question. So, is there a satisfying ending to whatever waifu that you've been picking throughout the games?
Interestingly enough, yes. Yeah, it's like there's like final bonding events that are really cool to view. It's a whole bunch of them. So around that time of the game, I was reloading my save file like crazy. That probably took up like 5 hours. But but yeah, that was fun. And there's a little thing during the end of the game that kind of solidifies that waifu thing.
So they didn't force you into the canon relationship.
Yeah, they didn't quote you into that. No.
Good.
But there's like an anime adaptation. You know who's gonna be the
Elise or
of
whatever.
course.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Not Elise. Elise is his sister.
Who am I thinking of?
The blonde-haired chick.
Yeah, what's her name?
Elisa.
Let's see, I was close.
I know.
Yeah, you were close. Yeah.
But you said Elise. That's an actual character.
That's true.
I was gonna say Alyssa, but I don't think that's it.
I think one of the things that I saw in some reviews that there's a lot of characters. Now, I already have experience with games with a lot of characters, like a lot of crossover games, like Cross Edge, Records of Agriculture War, and they do have the problem of A, where is this character during this cutscene, and B, why didn't this character say anything during this cutscene? But honestly, here I think they handled it as best as they could. There's a lot of characters you want to see them all, you want to use them all as well.
Mm-hmm.
But especially when a cutscene happens, everybody's got to get their piece in. But I never felt fatigue about it at all. One of the other things, too, there's a lot of characters, like the balance of the game. They're saying the balance of the game is all over the place. So I'm saying, like, first of all, you don't want to put this in a narrow corridor where you have to use certain characters. This is the 4th game. This is the 9th game in the series overall. You want to be able to use whoever you want. So I think they made the balance system with that in mind, and they made the balancing with that in mind, so that you can use whoever you want. I wouldn't like it if I had to use Usis or Machias or Gaius if I was forced to, or Alicia if I was forced to. Yeah. I wouldn't like that at all. So, but here you got like in the mid game, you probably got over 20 characters available to you to play as, and they're all viable. especially if you equip their quartz and whatnot.
If you build them right.
Yeah, you build them right. Yeah, so yeah, I think the balance is just fine. Like, yeah, of course you can break the game, but what Cold Steel game you couldn't break for the most part? So I don't know what people talk about when it comes to balance. I think it's just fine for the amount of characters they did, for appeasing everybody so they can use with everybody, whoever they wanted. I think they did just fine.
I am just glad that this 5-year journey is finally coming to an end.
Eh, that's all I'm saying.
We know there's more.
Yeah, that's one of the things. That's one of the things, though. I don't know, Nick. I think I asked you this before. Have you seen Hajimari no Kizuki?
No, but I've heard it's kind of like a spin-off type of a game. So it's kind of like the
Yeah,
third.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
It's just
but yeah, but honestly, at this point, when it comes to the series, I'm a little bit done with how it looks, like how the balancing plays out, the characters. I'm a little bit done. So I kind of don't. After Hajimari, I don't even want to see these characters again, unless they are like NPCs in the world and they're like super strong or something like that. They're like Laura. She's like Le Guin level of strong. That's the only way I want to see these characters. I think I'm done with these characters. I'm also done with the gameplay, to be honest. I played this game. I mastered the gameplay. I mastered the play dwellers. I know what the hell I'm doing. It's time to get something out there that's a bit different. And they did say in the next mainline Trails game, it's going to be it's going to be different, and they'll have an action element. So now I'm really curious to see where they take that.
and I don't think we're gonna have to worry about the character overdose that we're getting right now, because I think they also said that you'll see some characters, but there'll be like NPCs and there'll be like cameos kind of things.
Yeah, that's exactly what I want them to do. Like this cast is done. I love these guys, but I spent a lot of time with them. It's time to move on.
Because aren't they doing a new Cold Steel, or I don't know if it's Cold Steel, but I know a new Legend of Heroes game or something
Yeah, they are, but it's like
after Hajimari?
It's gonna be in Calvard, I think. Is it?
Yeah, it's
Calvard,
gonna
right?
be yeah. I think Taylor, you were talking about Hajimari. That was the one we were talking about earlier. That's a little bit of a spin-off, and it's like
No,
fairly
there's another one
straightforward.
after that. That's what I'm
Yeah.
talking about. Is they
Okay.
already
Yeah.
have
There's no.
started
Yeah.
talking about it.
Yeah. That one. That one's supposedly, like Nick said, supposed to be set in Calvert.
Gotcha. Yeah, I like you said. I hope it'll be a new set of characters, new story. They really need to upgrade their visual engine because their games are looking like really dated.
Apparently, there's a cutscene in Hajimari that's in the new engine, and it apparently looks really good. So once we get that game, we'll see the new engine. But once we get the new game, there'll probably be like videos of the new game that's in Japan.
Well, isn't there a Falcom thing in December? Isn't there like a big event or something?
Do not know.
Thought I saw something about that.
Well, it looks like I got to get into Cold Steel 4, so we got to end this podcast right now. I am joking, guys. We have questions to do. Yes. All right. From Spaghetti. Would you guys be open to bring people from the community on the podcast or spoiler casts?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
I mean, we've done that before.
Have we?
Yeah, we brought.
Yeah, I think we brought Pelvic on before.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
we brought Brian. Then we had Kathleen.
That's true.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I would be fine with that, especially since Shadow's kind of every other week. I mean, someone to fill in the off weeks or whatever, or even have 4 people. That'd be cool.
And spoiler cast, we could have because I know a lot of us don't play the same games, but we could all talk about. We could get a guest who's like an expert in a certain game. We could talk to them about like Grandia or Xenogears or something like that.
Totally.
Like I want to do Shadow is a Cold Steel 3 and 4 spoiler cast. Let's combine those two games together because they're kind of like one game, one story again.
It's gonna be like a 4-hour spoiler cast.
Well, yeah, but it's most of it's gonna be about Cold Steel 4, but people want to hear our opinions on Cold Steel 3 and 4. So, from Sir Real Killer, do you guys think there's a future for physical media? I don't remember the last time I bought a Blu-ray for a movie, but I'm still buying every collector's edition game I can get my hands on. Nothing beats breaking the plastic off that brand new JRPG you're about to play.
I think for movies and TV shows, yeah, I can't remember the last time I bought a movie or a TV show, a physical thing, because everything's streaming now. But for games, I still think we're a ways away before it goes all digital, just because we still have data caps. Game sizes are only getting bigger. And like they said, I think people really still do genuinely enjoy getting physical games. So, yeah, I think there's a future.
Yeah,
Especially because I think publishers make those collector's edition, they're more expensive. Maybe the margins are a little bit better. They can make more money. So I think those are always going to be around as long as there's money to be made.
I think the biggest clue that physical is always going to be here is companies like Limited Run Games who make physical copies of digital games. So, and people buy those up like crazy. So I see that.
Yep.
I see digital never going away. For physical edition or for special editions, I only buy the games, like the series that I want to support, like Tales or Trails or Fails or yeah, that was a little joke. I definitely buy physical editions of anime, the animes that I enjoy, and the shows that I enjoy, because that these shows are going to disappear from streaming sites sometimes and go to a completely different streaming site, and you don't want to buy another subscription to another streaming site just to watch that show. So I have the physical copies just in case. So
nice. My only problem with those are so expensive. I mean, to buy a full season of an anime, it's like $80 or $100 on Blu-ray. It's crazy.
certain animes are like that. Like I bought the full season collector's edition of Your Lie in April, and that was $100. But that's because it's Aniplex. If it's an Aniplex anime, then yes, it's super expensive. But then you get like Shuffled and complete season for like $15.
Yeah, well, that's not on Blu-ray, is it?
It probably is now. I don't know.
Yep.
Let's see. From Kardacha, what is your favorite Western JRPG?
Favorite Western so a JRPG made by a Western studio?
I don't know.
Probably gonna have to go, but with Mass Effect or no Dragon Age. No, wait, both.
Maybe just like Western RPG in general.
Oh, not a Western. Did they say JRPG
yeah,
specifically?
It has a JRPG in this question, but there's not many.
Yeah, the only one that really comes to mind would be like Cosmic Star Heroine. I really like that. That's made by a Western team.
Yep.
But
or they're talking about, like, a JRPG that's like Western themed, like Wild Arms.
I think they mean a JRPG made by a Western studio, would be my guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's not that many. Like Child of Light might be another one. I've never played too much of that. Yeah. Yeah, I guess Cosmic Star Heroine would probably be my answer then.
Yeah. I don't really like Western RPGs in general. I don't know why. They never like do it for me. Back in the day, I used to play Baldur's Gate. Those are fun.
Third one's coming out.
Oh yeah, but it's not my type of game anymore. I can't play Baldur's Gate 1 anymore either. Mass Effect was fun. Mass Effect 2. But I can't play Mass Effect anymore because when I was playing Mass Effect 2, I got really sick, and I guess I attribute that to Mass Effect 2, so I don't like playing it.
Bad memories.
Bad memories indeed.
That's like the best Mass Effect. How you gonna mess with the best Mass Effect?
I know. I liked it. It was really fun. But like I just remember I was playing it and it was late at night. Or it was like 10, 11 p.m. and I was playing and then I was like, I don't feel good. And then I started laying down and I woke up and I just was completely bedridden and I could not move and I was like really sick and it was like that for like 3 days.
Sucks.
Yeah.
Damn.
Awful. That was like back in 2009.
Yeah. Real quick, just to throw out a Western RPG, my favorite is probably Horizon Zero Dawn. I love that game. That game was really fun. Good mystery, good enemies.
Are you definitely gonna get the second one?
Yeah, I'm bummed that that's a cross-gen game, but get it on PS5 and it'll look and run better. And yep.
All right, Pigeon Senpai asks, "What's your favorite controller and why?" Obviously, it's the DualShock 3, the best controller ever made.
Please.
You've got like compared to the DualShock 4 and the DualShock 5, or it's DualSense now. PS3 controller is so bad.
Oh, the triggers are terrible.
It's just
and
such
sticks. Oh man, it's bad.
I like the PS4 controller, but I just got the PS5 controller, and I like how it feels.
Dude, I hear the haptic feedback's really cool.
Yeah, I want to see. Well, like the games have to take advantage of it, and I don't have a PS5, and I'm pretty sure the PC games are not going to take advantage of it, so I won't feel it.
That's true. Favorite controller?
Definitely have to say the Xbox One controller or the Xbox 360 controller. Those are my go-to controllers. If I need to play a game, I'm definitely going to the Xbox controller.
Nice. Yeah, those are good. Whenever I play PC games, I play with a 360 controller.
Yeah, exactly. I have like 3 or 5 Xbox One controllers. It's ridiculous.
Oh wow.
Did you get the Super Elite one?
No, I wouldn't go that far. I would never go that far for a goddamn controller. Playing like $190, get the hell out of here.
Yep, I remember that.
The only thing I don't like about Xbox controllers is if you're playing like a 2D side-scrolling game and you need the D-pad, having the buttons offset is really annoying. So I just don't like that.
I've had a problem with that.
Oh, it bugs me. But if I had to say like form factor, how it all feels, I actually really like the Switch Pro controller.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah. Plus, its battery life is nothing to sneeze at.
Oh my god, I never run out of battery. Yeah.
Best controller ever made, N64.
Controller was stupid.
It's dumb.
I don't know
Yeah,
how
it
the
was
heck you
bad.
did that.
Did you guys ever use the D-pad? I never used that when I was a kid. It was like
I
no
think
game.
yeah, no game ever took advantage of that.
I know there's a lot of lovers of the GameCube controller.
I don't really get that one.
It's
fine.
It's not bad.
Yeah,
It's only good for Smash.
I guess so. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the only time I really used it. Israel asks, do you guys play MMORPGs, either premium or free? What is your favorite? How about FF11 or FF14?
Nah, I can't. I've tried to dive into so many MMOs. The furthest I got in MMO is Final Fantasy 14. I would love to go back and play that, but I definitely probably won't finish it. I tried to play Bleed and Soul. Tried to play a lot of Terra. Terra was another one. I could never get myself into World of Warcraft because I was afraid.
Yeah, so
Smart.
You were afraid to get addicted, right? That's why you don't play
Exactly,
MMORPGs.
Yeah.
Smart man.
You didn't pull a Taylor and almost flunk out of college.
Yeah, I was one of those guys.
Wow, really?
So here's what happened. I got put on academic probation my very last quarter, and I had to go meet with somebody in like one of the whatever student offices, and they're like, well, we're gonna look at your grades. And they're like, oh, you got one more semester? Just get out of here. I'm like, thank you. Yeah, it was bad though, for sure.
Wait, what game was it? World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft, yeah, but I haven't played. Here's what happened: the life took it away from me. So in 2009, I went to South Korea to teach English, and so when I flew there, I logged into World of Warcraft, and they banned my account because within a day I was in America, and then the next day I was in South Korea. So they thought I was like sharing my account or something like that, and so they just banned my account. I'm like, well, I guess that's the end of that.
And he's never gone back.
Yep.
Good man.
I played WoW back in 2004, and I got addicted. I mean, I was a freshman, so I'm not doing anything really. So I played it, got addicted, and then like no one, like all my friends were super addicted, like no life addicted. So they were already like level 60, and I was only like level 20, and I'm like, okay, no one to play with. So I stopped playing, and I was like, I'm done. And then I played a little bit of Ragnarok Online, and then I realized like MMOs are not really for me. So I started playing Unreal Tournament and Counter Strike.
There you go. I think the problem for me with MMOs is it's like almost like a part-time job. Like if you have to log in every day, do the dailies, do the dungeons, do the raids, it's just too much. Like I just can't. I even fell off Genshin Impact. I haven't played Genshin Impact in weeks.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, and the 1.1 update just came out too, and I kind of want to check it out. But
I think there's another update too. They decided another character or something recently, not just the 1.1 update.
Yeah, I think they added 4 new characters. Yeah, but it's just Yakuza happened, and then now I'm like, do I want to get Sakuna? And so I just there's too much. The only other game, this isn't really an MMO, but the only other game I can think of that I put significant time into that's even anywhere close was Monster Hunter. Yeah, when Monster Hunter World came out, that was pretty awesome. Playing with friends.
You played a little bit of
cool.
FF14 too, didn't you?
Yeah, I got that when it came out on PS4 just because I didn't really have anything to play, and I had a 30-day free trial. So I was like, it's $40. I'll get my money's worth, and then I'll be done. And that's what happened.
Yep. From Josiah Taku, many years of JRPGs have passed. It is finally time to make the greatest JRPG of all time. Your task is to take different parts from pre-existing JRPGs and fuse them together into the greatest game. Your categories are 1. Battle system, 2. Stat skill progression, 3. Protagonist, 4. Antagonist, 5. Art style, 6. Soundtrack, and then 7. Any special features.
Oh man, on the spot, that's hard to think of.
Hold on, I gotta actually see this question. So let me go to the.
Yeah, let me get on Discord and.
I'm gonna think about it right now.
Okay, let's see here. I mean, any special features? Definitely social links. Gotta have social links. Gotta have some good bonding events.
And soundtrack, I don't think anyone's going to disagree with me, but whoever did the Final Fantasy VII Remake soundtrack needs to be like that.
That's a good soundtrack. For battle system, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Persona 5. That's really good. Maybe a little bit more dynamic. For skill progression, I'm gonna have to say Final Fantasy X's Spear Grid. Protagonist, antagonist. What does he mean by that?
Like, what kind of do you want? Like the protagonist to be like, oh, friendship is power, or you want to be brooding,
okay.
like Cloud, or
okay.
Persona 5 kind of style.
The silent protagonist.
Personally, yeah, I was gonna say personally anything but silent protagonist. I can even take the power of friendship, dude. I can take that as long as the story is good. I can go with the power of friendship guy. But I'll take like maybe I'll say probably like Lost Odyssey protagonists. They're older, actually adults.
So adults, not teenagers, saving the world.
Yeah,
adults doing adult things.
Exactly. Yeah, that would probably be my thing.
The waifus will be mature women and not young teenagers.
I mean, like you can still have the young teenagers like in your party and whatnot, but like the main protagonist, he gotta be a little older, from like early 20s at least. Antagonists, I have no. I would say Kefka, but not like a clown, but like I need somebody that's a little bit like an anarchist, maybe I guess.
Mm.
Art style, I'm gonna go with what's it called? Shin Megami Tensei Devil Survivor. That artist, I forgot his name. I love that art.
So an anime art style.
Yeah, anime art style.
You know what kind of?
Actually, yeah.
I would like to have like a materia like system as well.
Oh yeah, material system would be pretty
Because
cool.
that's I like building my own characters, like building the characters the way I want them.
Yeah. Same thing as like a quartz and Cold Steel.
Yeah.
Soundtrack, whoever the people behind Persona, basically. They got the best soundtrack. Special features. Can't really think of anything right now.
So, like bonding events and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. You know what's interesting when it comes to like social links and bonding events? I can actually deal without those. I don't need them.
There also needs to be, a farming simulator, alchemy,
Oh man.
Town building.
crafting,
Oh god, no. Oh god.
sandbox gameplay. So it's like a constant day-night cycle.
Oh my god. Gotta be fishing in there, right?
And fishing.
Oh, I do not understand people's obsession with fishing in JRPGs.
Little side quests, little side games. H scenes. We need H scenes. And
So have you said yours, Nick?
well, I thought we were supposed to build a game ourselves.
Oh, I thought we were each doing our own. Okay.
Yeah, I thought that was it.
Okay,
I'll
my-
quickly rattle. Oh, go ahead then. Nick.
Yeah, I said let's make our own. Like everyone make our own. Then battle system. I want a improved Tales of Destiny battle system because that's the best battle system ever made. Tales of Destiny remake. Sorry, DC director's cut. Skill skill progression. I like the like as I said the materia system with the grid because the remake had the grid system with the materia system, didn't they? Because you leveled up your weapons and put materials on it.
Yeah.
Protagonists. I don't know. I kind of like Shadow's idea. Older antagonists. Whoa! What the heck is this? 1 second.
Something happened.
I know what happened.
Ladies and gentlemen,
YouTube came back,
Oh.
and apparently, like when Doug's soundtrack just suddenly started playing. Antagonists. I kind of want the antagonist to be like mysterious, like something bad's happened and you don't know what's going on until like half the game. Art style needs to be kind of anime. Soundtrack, I want it to be like Final Fantasy VII Remake. That stuff's amazing. I like the bonding events, and I also like. I do like some kind of sandbox gameplay, some kind. In crafting, gotta have crafting.
Gotta have that crafting.
Yeah. Your turn, Taylor.
Alrighty. Okay, so mine battle system would be Octopath Traveler. Octopath and Persona are very similar in that people are, they get weak to certain attacks, and then you can follow it up with another attack. But I really liked how they did their boss battle system, where they had these like locks before you could really start dishing out big damage. And so it would have to be like, oh, hit him with a fire attack and then a sword attack or whatever. So it was almost like a little mini puzzle. It was very, very involved, but even like the random battles went by really fast. And same thing with stat and skill progression, because it's almost like Final Fantasy Tactics, where like let's say somebody's the warrior class, you level them up, they gain the skills from that class, then you can change the class, but still use abilities from the class you just changed from. That makes any sense?
That's great. I love that stuff.
So that really allows you to like totally break the game in fun ways. So I love that system. And then I would go with the soundtrack from Octopath Traveler. It had a really great soundtrack, or at least that composer, because they've done the Bravely Default music also, which is awesome. Art style, you know what I really like? I was trying to think of something. I actually really like the Tales of Arise art style. It's like anime, but like proportional, and also kind of blends semi, not photorealism isn't the right word, but you know what I mean? It's not like Ni no Kuni, where it's just like pure
Yeah.
anime. It's like a little bit more realistic,
Yeah, that's the
mixed
art
with
style I
anime.
was thinking about when I was picking mine.
Yeah. Um, Special features, of course, bonding event. I think on top of that, what else would be kind of cool is if you could build out like a base, sort of like you do in Suikoden, like you recruit characters, and then as you recruit them, the base gets buffed out with different things you can do. I think that's fun. It just combining that with the bonding events, I think you just really get to know the characters better. Um, Protagonist, I honestly don't care. I just want it to be a female.
Wow.
Female protagonist. A vulnerable badass, I guess, if that makes sense. Like she's got this harsh outer shell, but she's really got deep insecurities. Something like that.
So Velvet, got it.
Yeah, sure. But Velvet is like such like a badass bitch sometimes. Like that's a little too much. Like
Alright.
a step back from Velvet.
Well, well, yeah. Well, you know why she's like that.
Well, of course, I guess I don't need a backstory that tragic, but yeah. And then the antagonist, I like a good mystery, so I'm kind of on board with Nick. I'd almost like it to be sort of like Persona 4, where you don't really know who the bad guy is until like almost the very end. So I guess I don't really care who it is, but just whoever's pulling the strings or whatever's happening, it'd be cool to have it be a mystery. Yeah.
Yep, that's perfect. All
Good
right.
one, Josiah. That was fun.
Yep, good one. This is gonna be the last question of the day of this podcast. Hookah Leconque asks, "What would you guys want to see in Octopath Traveler 2 when it comes to storyline and gameplay mechanics? Have any of you played?" Oh wait, yeah. So that's the first question.
I mean, obviously, I think the big complaint was all the characters didn't come together with a big overlapping story. So I think it'd be really nice to have something that wasn't like a secret, because there is supposedly like a big story, but you have to like go to the secret dungeon. It's so hard. So having a storyline that connects all the characters together in a more like meaningful way would be nice. But I honestly wouldn't change the gameplay mechanics at all. I think they're like pretty perfect, as I just described in my ideal JRPG. So maybe add a couple new classes or something, but I say keep it as it is.
Yeah, I think the most thing they had to do is be able to find ways to combine the stories with the characters that you'll have in your party. So it's not like you're doing this character's story, but then like the character there are other characters that are your party. None of those characters are even there. So
Yeah.
I didn't like that. Like, and I know this is gonna be that would be a lot of work, but have them be able to interact with the character's story, depending on who's in your party. And there is an Octopath Traveler 2 actually like announced, right? They said they're actually working on it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a mobile game I know, but then they also said they are working on another one.
What about you, Shadow?
Yeah, they definitely have to do something about the stories, the character stories. I did not like that they were all separate, and something would happen to one character where they get locked up or trapped. They're trapped in there for like days, and it's like, what happened to the rest of your party, bro? So it's kind of weird. Um, I don't know what they can do with the battle system. I would say in this case, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But I'm guessing they would definitely add something to it to uh make it more dynamic or more better. I'm not sure what they could add. This is something. This is a case where I won't know I want it until I get it. So we'll have to see.
Right. And have any of you played or want to play Skies of Arcadia? In my opinion, is the most underplayed, underrated JRPG of all time. Due to it being only released on the GameCube and Dreamcast.
Yeah, I definitely want to play. I just don't own a GameCube or a Dreamcast, so or a Wii or any other way to play it. So if they did some remaster, that'd be pretty perfect. I know there's probably you probably played on Dolphin, right? The GameCube version, I imagine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's one of those games that's been lurking back there, and Sega seems to be reviving all their old JRPG franchise. They did another Valkyria Chronicles, they did another Sakura War, so maybe if we're lucky, we'll get another Skies of Arcadia.
Or those make an HD version.
Yeah, or that at the very least to give us a remaster. Yeah,
Exactly. I would love to play it.
I did play Skies of Arcadia. They just need to fix that encounter rate, and I think the game will be fine.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, is it pretty high?
Yeah, the encounter rate is high. It was ridiculously high from what I remember.
All right, guys, and that would be the last question of this episode. Thank you for listening, and be sure to check out Taylor and Shadow's channels. Their links are going to be in the description below, and they make great JRPG content. And yeah, that's it, and we'll be back next week. We'll see you later. See ya.
See ya.